Hi Gemini, welcome to my channel. I'm shooting this video in November, but these messages are timeless. So if the title caught your eye, then there's definitely something in this message for you. I'm going to start by clearing the energy. Angels, ancestors, spirit guides, please be here now to give Gemini the messages that they most need for their divine and highest good. Please protect this space from any negative energies, and we thank you for being here. All right, so I would like to start by pulling a couple of oracle cards to see what themes are coming up for you this month. All right, Gemini, what's going on for Gemini this month? Let's get a couple of these. These are the enchanted, the sacred forest deck. These are really beautiful cards. I find them to be pretty inspiring. Let's see here. Oh, transcending. So, like, you're rising above a situation, or you're moving past a situation, or on from a situation. You're like, it's like ascending. You know, you're reaching new heights, but you're like transforming from what you once were, or transforming, like transmuting, like the negative energies, or like the things that have happened to you have made you stronger in this lifetime. And so you're transcending the odds at this time. So let's see, what else? What else from the Sacred Forest deck for Gemini? Okay, ooh, got a couple here. A few. Stability. Yeah, so if you've had like kind of a period of things going up and down, and a bit of a roller coaster, and a lot of changes really fast, and maybe struggling to keep up, that you are actually entering a time of stability because of this transcendence and courage. So you have a lot of courage here. Like, it takes a lot of courage to do what you're doing and to leave behind, the familiar. Um, but in doing that, that creates stability, and it takes, quite a bit of courage. So, like, definitely you want to, like, give yourself a pat on the back and thank yourself for having this courage. And at least, like, and notice it. Like, give yourself that. And grace. And all these things are leading to growth. So I want to take a look as we move into the reading. We're going to see how these themes play out for you in this reading. We'll start with the tarot, and this is the Light Seers deck. So Gemini, what do we have for Gemini right now? What does Gemini most need to hear right now? What messages does Gemini most need to hear? Okay. So you have the King of Pentacles reversed. Strength. Ooh, the Star. And the Two of Swords. So with the King of Pentacles, reverse, this tells me like you might be leaving behind the traditional form of stability, either making money. This could be a husband, this could be, a father, a boss, but it tells me that you're kind of like leaving behind this traditional role model of stability, because it's reversed, or for some reason, like this is behind you now. And so it's taken strength, which is where you have the courage here. It's taken strength and patience, and like learning, when to use, like when it's courage, and when it's actually like you need to use your patience to not become overexcited, upset about something, to not be aggressive like a lion, you know what I mean? To not roar. Um, and that takes real strength and courage, is to be able to stand back when you need to, and like recognize when something is pressing your buttons, and to not allow that. That's where the real courage comes in, and through that you're getting receiving this healing with the star. And the star card, this comes right after the tower, and this may have to do with this past situation that you're leaving behind here with this mature, stable man. But you're healing from this, and what it's doing is like you've spent some time alone now, and you've been, dipping into the deep well of mysteries in the universe, and the healing pools of life, and really like reflecting on your thoughts and like what's most important to you, your values, and that's helping you to move on, um and like learning a lot at this time about yourself. So let's see here. Yeah, and so through that, the star card, she finds what really lights her up. Like, it kind of like she strips down to the core values of like what really lights her up, or core passions, and she starts to like remember herself, right? As she like, um, she doesn't have to be as strong now. She could put that down. She's been strong. She's been being strong, and now she can heal. And when you start to heal, this is the Two of Swords. When you start to heal, you're going to start to see things that you were keeping from yourself, that you were blinded by. Like this card talks about like not noticing the red flags because you don't want to, right? Because she could take off this mask. I mean, this looks rather dramatic, but in the other card, she is there by choice. She's like holding these swords, and and she could put the swords down. She could take the mask off, but she doesn't want to. It's like a moment of contemplation before like deciding on where to go on. But like once that you take these blindfolds off, like you can't go back to seeing the way that you used to see. Like this is, your new perspective. Like even if you wanted to go back, you know, to being like that person that, like once you have these new realizations, confirmation, you really can't go back to being this person who thought this other way, because like you've learned now, and like you see through people, you see through people, and you're not gonna blindly follow them or trust them anymore. You can't be fooled anymore, duped. You can't be, any of those things. Let's see here. We'll clarify these cards too, but I want to pull a few more of these tarot. Yeah, it looks like you're really making a lot of growth here. Okay, so yeah, so you're going to be healing, or you're going to rest after healing, like allow yourself to rest. You can't just go, 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 even though you have like a lot of change here, from this situation you're leaving. Like you do have to allow yourself to rest, because that's how you're going to be able to grow more. And you're not going to be able to do yourself any good if your energy's depleted. So like you have to allow that. You have to heal, you know allow yourself to have grief, and to like work on healing your heart, and do the things that make you feel good and safe. um, and you also have the King of Wands reversed. This is a passionate, mature energy. I like this actually when this comes up with the Strength card, because it also has the Lion. So it's like you're learning how to tame your own inner beast. You know, like the things that would push your buttons before, like they don't push your buttons anymore. Like you are now mature enough to like you've you've leveled up. You've worked on this so much that you have like a much more mature feeling. Like you cannot be swayed so easily. Um, yeah, and this is like he's stable in his beliefs. could also be like the way that people view you, stoic, you know, through all these traumas that you've been through, like you've remained stoic, and people see, like, still see the light in your eyes. So then you have that Hierophant, and the Hierophant is a very spiritual card. In this deck, it kind of looks like a little too happy. He's like a little bit too like zealous here. It's just like it's like the path to enlightenment. Um, yeah, he seems a little too happy to me, but it's the path to enlightenment. I feel like what this means is to be spiritual, yes, you know, find your spirituality, but also to not, to find some joy in it and to not take it so seriously. Um, you know, you may have, through this healing with the star and the Four of Swords, like this has brought about some spiritual path for you. You're getting in touch with your spiritual side, wanting to honor that more. Let me pull one more of these, and I will start to clarify. Ooh, I got the Six of Wands, success. So, like, you do ultimately, you know, what you're doing is working, and it's bringing you a lot of success. It's like it's bringing you some accolades. People are really proud of you for how far you've come, and it's noticeable. You know, like people are proud of you for growing and for the grace that you've had through this growth. You know, like you've really been mature, and like you're able to be proud of how you handled the situation. Like, you know, it was rough. We will find out more about this King of Pentacles. But yeah, so like, congratulate yourself, you know. People are noticing how hard you worked, and like, they just kind of want to be in this light, be around you now. So then you have the Lovers here. This I was not expecting, but it seems that somebody notices this healing and this growth, and like, they're very attracted to this energy. Um, Especially with you being newly single or recently, you know, like you're in a new place now. You left this situation here with this King of Pentacles. So this is attracting like new suitors, new passionate energy. And if it isn't, this could be creative, but I definitely feel like people are, you know, are noticing you, and it's bringing new people, new potential suitors into your life as well. So that's very exciting too. Um, yeah, that's always very exciting. So let's pull some. I'm going to use this deck. It's the Modern Tarot. Maybe it's the Modern Witches Tarot. I can't remember. So why is this King of Pentacles reversed here? Tell me about this King of Pentacles reversed for Gemini. What's going on with this King of Pentacles reversed? Leave this stable. Yeah. I mean, these are, you know, obviously these are genderless, you know. This could be a man or a woman, but they're just showing up as like, I read it how the card, what's on the card, but they're just showing up as like a masculine energy. Oh, okay. So yeah, like you had a new perspective. Um, like you found something out about this person, or maybe you had a new perspective about the way that they were treating you or something like that. But you like had some time to reflect on this situation, and you like had some time to be still, and to sacrifice, like, sacrifice your time or your energy to see what was happening in this situation. You have the Four of Wands upside down, so it's kind of like saying like the celebration was over. You know, maybe you were staying with this person because they were stable, whether this is in work or in love. But like this is like, uh, maybe like what you realized was that like you weren't being treated with kindness here, and like what you initially celebrated about this connection, it was long in the past, and you built up, or over time, these defenses were built up in this relationship, whether it's work or love, that like made you have like a chip on your shoulder, and you showed like a lot of resilience and determination, but you built up these defenses, and like the war is long past over. This person is like standing there like guarding after a war, but the war is over now. um, or it's coming, you've left this situation. So like these defenses served you well, and over time it's like that's not the way you want to feel with somebody over a long time. Like, maybe that's what you're reflecting on. Like, it just wasn't all sunshine and roses. There's a really big juxtaposition in these two cards. Like, it wasn't all celebrations. It wasn't all, you know, fun times. There was a lot of like hardships and battling with this personality. So it took you a lot of courage and strength to leave the situation, and it could be a friend too. Can you tell me about the star? We have on the star. We have on this healing star. Oh, the magician. Yeah, you have everything you need to be able to transmute what you've learned from this relationship and to like bring it forward to your next relationship, and like really have learned a lot from this. So it's not all for nothing. Like this is going to help you to be more discerning in the future about who you're like spending so much time with, who you're giving your day to. Let's say this is a job, who you're giving your 8-10 hours a day to. um if it's a job, maybe like you no longer believe in what they do there, or the way they manufacture their products is like you don't agree with it, or something like that, the way they treat their employees, it's something like that. If this is you know a work thing, it's like you just don't believe in it anymore either. And so you're walking away. You got the Eight of Cups. I'm gonna put this over here with the Two of Swords and the World card reversed. But when you get the World card reversed or upright, it's about the same. It's such a good card that it can't be like negated by these like kind of lesser cards. This one's a big deal. It's like closing out a cycle. It's got the laurel, the celebrative laurel wreath, that really marks like, they give these laurel wreaths to somebody who's just like won the Olympics and things like this. This is a high honor, and it has, on this one, you can see it has the infinity symbol here, and many of them it has an Ouroboros, which is another symbol for infinity, which is the snake eating its tail. Confirmation. That's confirmation that you've really completed this chapter. Like it's really, you're really like starting. A lot of times Eight of Cups also talks about like going on a spiritual journey, like being ready for, like learn this next chapter, learning this next phase. Like you've kind of put these full cups behind you. They're full, but you know what? Like these are not cups that you want to sip from anymore. Yeah, and there's an eclipse. This is the only card that has an eclipse in it. And so it speaks of great and big change, you know, and climbing this mountain top. This is like a challenge. A challenge and an adventure that you're going on to like higher peaks in your life. So yeah, what else is going on in this world card? You know, blue skies. Anyway, so yeah, so you're finishing out this cycle. It is officially like behind you. Officially behind you. It's done. Okay. So then let's see. So you're healing. What's with this King of Wands? Let's find out a little bit more why this King of Wands is here. Why is this King of Wands here for Gemini? Why is this King of Wands? Gemini. Three of Cups. Yeah, it's like you're building your community, your support system now. Um, after healing, you're attracting more like-minded individuals because now you know your worth and who you are. So you're attracting like-minded individuals after this healing phase. And like people that you can celebrate with, people that you can trust. Like it is also a time for celebration. You may be uh, getting back together with old friends as well, having more time, old friends and new. With the Tower reversed, I feel like, yeah, we know that you've already just been through the Tower. So it's like, you know what, the Tower is, this energy is past. It just wants to reiterate that this is in the past. You know, you've closed out this chapter. But also because you've gone through the Tower, you're a lot more like, again, discerning. I'm going to use that word again. Discerning about who you spend your time with, who you spend your energy on. Because you value yourself more now. And like, you just see things differently. Like your bullshit meter is like up here. Like you just, you know, you're not gonna stick around, you know, when it, like, you know, the apple is sour. Like you just, you know, you don't have time for that. Yeah, and then you would rather just like walk away than to like hang out with people that like are not meant for you. It also talks about like knowing when to walk away. Um, you know, knowing when to walk away before anything gets too deep. Everybody in this card is safe. Like there's nobody that's, you know, they look a little dejected, but nobody's really hurt or anything. It's about like knowing when to walk away before um, the energies get too high. Um, yeah, so you know your worth. And like I said, your bullshit meter is like on point. So you just don't have time for that. Yeah, the Eight of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, Strength again, and the King of Pentacles. Oh, what? Okay, so sorry, the dog barking. Yeah, so okay, so you have been working so hard on like this, like a lot of times the Hierophant speaks of like traditions. It's actually the Pope, and it talks about like dealing with people and diplomacy and stuff like that. But you've been working so hard on all of these things, you know, your spirituality. You're like kind of just working on yourself across the board. Like you are like working the midnight oil, like really focused and determined to improve your life. And so then you have the Knight of Pentacles, and this is like the beginning of a new journey and stability. This can also have to do with like a new financial journey, obviously. Like you may be starting your new business, could be in the spiritual arena, or teaching a class. The Hierophant also talks about you could be teaching a class, an educator. But this is the beginning of a new stability. And it's weird to me here because now it's crazy. You have the King of Pentacles, right? And Strength. I'm sure you remember that. King of Pentacles and Strength. Well, you got them again. King of Pentacles and Strength down here. So I feel this is what this is saying is to like not let history repeat itself. And like this person may be coming to revisit you with the message. Because I did forget to read these two. You have the Page of Wands and the Two Wands. That's growth. So these are both about like new passionate growth and like planning for the future. This could be a move. And it's interesting to me because it's like either this person comes back and they've grown and you've grown, or you meet somebody that's very similar to the person that you left in the past. So interesting because that's like right where the Success card comes up and the Lovers. So it's like you could leave this person and then go back to them, or they're trying to come back with you. Ooh, let's find out. Let's find out. I'm just too curious about this. What is... Okay. Spirit, tell me more. What is the intentions of this King of Pentacles? What is the intentions of this King of Pentacles? What is the intentions? What is this King of Pentacles wants? The Lovers. Okay, so the Strength card could be obviously a Leo. So, yeah, you might just be like leaving one Leo to meet another Leo. You have heavy Leo influence, and it's a stable. So you now have the Lovers twice, right? You have Strength twice, and you have, where's the King of Pentacles? Ah, the King of Pentacles twice. So yeah, you know, it's so interesting. Like maybe you meet somebody and they're very similar to your past relationship, or they remind you of this man, this... Lovers. Tell me more about this King of Pentacles. What else? So I would say, yeah, look out for like a mature man who's reliable and good with his money, makes wise investments, has a good job or something like that. Page of Cups, the beginning of a new emotion. The beginning of a new emotion. What is this? Three of Pentacles, what? Ew. Get Three of Wands upside down. And the Queen of Wands, you know, what it's saying is like, this is the start of something new. You know, it's sweet, it's mutual. You're still protecting your heart, but like, you've got to live still. And like, if you meet somebody, even if it's somebody very soon after you've been with somebody, you know, you have to trust your instincts. You have to, you know, in this case, listen to the universe. Like, I'm not usually one to tell people to like run into a rebound relationship, but like the cards here are clear on this. The Queen of Wands is like the happiest queen of the deck. Like, it kind of seems like you've learned from your lessons here. You know, you've been through it all and back. You know, you've been through the tower. You've had the heartache. You've healed from it. But you can't let that stop you from living life. You know, like, you gotta keep moving on. And like, you know, maybe this is the person for you. It seems like they certainly have potential. It doesn't have to be a Leo, but you did get the Leo card twice. What else? Well, Gemini, I think you are destined to meet somebody this month. It's giving she gets her groove. She gets her groove. I love it. Yeah, the Empress card. So it's like you are like in your full fertile, nurturing self. You know, the Empress is creative. She's sure of herself. You know, she is. The people around her value her and they respect her. They value her time and energy and her wise sage advice. I just want to be around her. And she's always like in the lap of luxury. Wow, this is an intense reading. Okay, so I'm going to pull, this is the Wild Unknown Oracle. Let's see if we can get any like last messages and see what's in store here. Maybe we can sort some of these out. I'll be doing some energy reads too later this month. And always, as always, check out my cards of the day on Instagram. The Hunter. Ooh. Yeah, it's like somebody notices you. Somebody knows you. You're recently single, you know. Probably not for long. Like somebody is really paying attention to you. They got their eye on you. I'm getting like more like cat and mouse, but they're like a passionate person. They know what they want. Agape. Agape is, I think that's like a pure kind of love. Let me see here. Confirmation for agape. Okay. Oh, that sounds close. Okay. What if instead of putting yourself at the center of your spiritual practice, you put God, Goddess, or nature at the center? How would this change your approach? Such as the energy of agape, it is alive when we are in awe and wonder. Our breath taken away by the sacred force that surrounds us and asks for nothing in return. This card can indicate a spiritual initiation that stretches your capacity to love and serve. You sense the earthly as as the heavenly and vice versa. Such an initiatory moment can appear in any form and like like healing balm to the modern soul. Its effects last a lifetime. The agape card may also suggest you reassess what you worship every day, consciously or unconsciously. What are you elevating? Where does a sacred ladder climb ultimately lead to? Hmm. So, here, let me see what else it says here. Agape can also be felt as the overwhelming love of family, partner, community, recognizing by a deep swell of gratitude. Yeah, I feel like it's supposed to mean overwhelming love. Let's see, when light, service, reverence, honor, and joy. Um, it's talking about like being conscientious in your spiritual quest, to really be discerning about what it is that you place importance on and what you put in the center of your universe, right? And like you know it's about like finding this new perspective and like revealing to yourself like these new priorities, like what your priorities are. I think that you've learned a lot, and in the depth of growth, like your priorities have definitely shifted. And it's just talking about like looking at that. But I also see it as this, like, this hunter also sees you like spiritually as well. They don't just, you know, they don't just see you like it's a successful empress, but they also see you as like, a spiritual warrior as well. Um, and that is what is drawing them to you. So interesting, interesting. This is very exciting. All right, Gemini, have a wonderful month, and I will see you next time.